Welcome back to another video. This one is a update on getting the DCC connected. So I'll run through briefly what I've got going on here. Before I do though, I'm just going to make a quick comment after the previous video, because the last video I said that my old locomotives were not working. However, they are working. The problem is that I wasn't giving enough power into the track. As soon as I cranked the power up, they ran pretty well actually. But I'm not going to be showing that one in this video, because in this video I'm just going to give an update on getting the DCC connected. So quick overview, quick reminder. Previously it was connected up to this, the standard Cato power unit, runs on DC power. More power into the track, the faster the train goes. I've still got this connected, not to the power as such, but it's powered up so that I can operate the switches via these remote controls. So if you remember, as I throw one of these switches over here, it activates the point. So I've got the power running into here just so that I can operate these, so that's fine. I have, however, disconnected it from there, and what I've ended up doing is removing the feeder piece of track here from here and replacing it with a new one of these, exactly the same, but I've picked up a new one. Goes into here, and then this now goes across into this little unit here, which comes with the NCE DCC kit. And then that plugs into there, the power into there, and then on the left-hand side here, you plug in a flat cable, lights on, which means it's working, and this cable here comes around and goes into the controller. So here's the controller. It's selected locomotive number 3, which is what this one's programmed as. And you can do a few different things. You can, for example, select, let's see if we can get this to focus, select the direction you want it to go. At the moment it's forward, and now it's reverse. You can, for units that have got speakers or sound as part of the decoder, you can do things like the bell, the horn, whistle. The one that I have doesn't have sound, but it does have headlight. So as I press the headlight there, you'll see it goes L1, L-1, or the light comes on and off. If you go over here, because I've got a DCC locomotive on, as I press that button, the light comes on and switches off, which is nice. So you can operate the light independently of the... so I'm just going to fiddle out because that's in the way. You can operate the light independently of the engine, whereas under the DC you've got to basically, the power goes in, the light comes on, and the locomotive moves forward. You've then got, there's like a whole range of other options that you have on these things, which I have yet to investigate, but all you do now is you just simply, he says, turn this little speed dial upwards, and then the train moves. Okay, so we can switch the light on. There we go, light's on. Oops. Pretty straightforward. Cable management going on over there. Then we just bring that down to a stop by dialing it down. As you can see, it's got numbers for the speed. We can press direction, reverse, increase the power. When you do reverse, it switches the light across to the back. I don't know if you can see that. But the thing which is nice about this DCC is not only the independent control of different locomotives on the same piece of track, because they have different Watch, this is going to derail. Because they have different programs or program numbers, but the control is so much finer. You can really just very slowly have these things moving backwards and forwards. Now, something else that I've done is because, the type of couplers. Now, people who are watching who know what the couplers are called are probably going to know more than I do if you're into this kind of thing. But yeah, there's this coupler here, which is kind of like a knuckle, which is on this loco. But my old, show you on this one, my old freight cars have got this kind of coupler, which are incompatible. So what I've ended up doing is purchasing this one here, which had interchangeable couplers. So I've put one of the style A, for example, couplers onto there so that it marries up with the locomotive, and the older style or the square style coupler there so that it can actually connect up to the rest of the freight. So it's a bit of a workaround, but that's fine. The only other alternative would be to have changed the couplers on this. Now, I did try that and stopped just because it was getting really fiddly and I didn't want to break it. So there we are. That is the DCC installed. Oops, put the headlight on. Get this running again. So you can see how slow this thing is going. That's on speed number 4. You can program different speeds and different acceleration rates, I think, with DCC. So you can really get this sort of fine movement going, which is more prototypical, as they say. So you can get really fine movement. Very fine. Look at that. So that's only just creeping along now, which to get that going on the DC is really not so easy. Because you're programming the specific locomotive. You're not sending variable power to the locomotive. The power's the same. You're sending the digital signal to the unit and telling it how to behave as an individual. So there we go. There she goes. So yeah, that's all I wanted to show, just that the DCC hooked up and powered and working, and that the locomotive I picked up is working fine, works really well. And yeah, like I said, this is just a temporary setup just to make sure that everything's working, to see how things work with the wiring and so on. And once the bench work comes in for the proper setup, then we'll be putting things in a little bit more of a permanent setup once I decide on my track plan and all of that sort of thing. So that is going to be a long time coming. This is a long-term project. So this is just the early days of just making sure that everything works and how it works. So I hope you enjoyed the video, and I'll catch you for the next one. The next one I might plug in the DC again and show you how the old locomotives work. But I picked up some grease and oil, got to lubricate the gears and the wheels on those old things now, so hopefully make them run a little bit nicer next time I get them on the track. Anyway, thanks for watching, like I say, and I'll catch you again for the next video. Goodbye.